right. Well, this evening I'm excited to be speaking to this young lady. You all that have been with me know that throughout the years, I've had a couple of engineers. Mike was with me for quite some time. Shouts out to Mike if he's listening right now. Shouts out to Mike. I believe I'm forever indebted to that young man. But just a great engineer and a great educator, great husband, now father. We were on that journey as he became a father. So he's, got different level of responsibilities now and, has some other things going on. But we'll perhaps get him back at a later date as a guest. And since Mike Clark was engineering for a while, and we've had conversations with Clark about, why he started Survival Radio Network and some of his passions and what feeds his soul. Well, this evening, I'm excited to be bringing to you the young lady who's been behind the scenes for the past few months while we've been on this journey. And, when you're doing radio, when you're doing television, you always have to stop a moment, at least I think you do, and give those people behind the camera or behind the mic, give them their props, as we say, and to let them know how much you appreciate them. And also, I think it's also good to share with the audience because the audience also, I think it's good to know who's the person behind the scenes and what are some of their dreams and what are some of their aspirations and what drives them. So this young lady comes to us. She's been engineering for a minute. She is an aspiring actress. We're going to speak that into existence. And she has some other visions and goals and dreams and things that she desires to do. So please welcome to the Paula G Show, the dynamic and my engineer, Miss Roslayn Cooper. Roslayn.
Hello, Miss Paula.
What's going on, love?
What's going on? I just want to tell you I'm just really excited, blessed to be here.
Well, you know what? I'm excited to have you and thank you first of all for agreeing because not everybody agrees up front. I've had them say, okay, there's a reason why I'm behind the mic. I'm like, yeah, I know, but we're always wanting to know, the different aspects and the dynamics of what goes into radio. So, just share with us a bit, and I don't even think I know this. What brought you to Survival Radio Network?
Okay, I moved to Atlanta in 2015, and I attended Atlanta Broadcasting Institute, and I got a certification in May. It was a short intensive program for broadcasting and radio and television. And so I've been working at a few radio stations here and there, mostly behind the scenes, but they'll bring me on the air for the banter segments or a different segment like that. And then just that my instructor at ABI, he told me about Mr. Garrison and about working as an engineer because it's important in radio not only to do on camera and on radio stuff, but also behind the scenes too, as well.
That is,
and so
yes, that
he
is so
told
true.
Me about that engineering opportunity. And I will admit, when I was getting trained, I was like, there's no way I can do this because it just seems so technical, but now I can do it in my sleep. And I enjoy it. I really do. It's really fun and exciting, and I get to use, my DJ skills. I've always wanted to be like a DJ, a disc jockey. So this really helps me with that.
That is, you know what, that is awesome. I'm so glad you shared that so openly because, when you first start something, it can seem overwhelming because I know I felt the same way on this side of the mic. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is way too much, because you're doing a show and you're communicating with your engineer and you're communicating with your guests and you're looking at your notes and all of these different things. It's it's like, oh my gosh. But like you said, then it kind of gets to the point somewhere along the line you can do it in your sleep. You're like, okay, when did that happen?
Exactly. Because it just came to me, at first. And that's why I think we put limits on ourselves and we think that we can't do a certain thing, so that holds us back. And so I'm glad that I took this risk to do this and try to learn it. And it has really paid off in a big way.
that is wonderful. So you actually came to Atlanta with the intention of going to broadcast school, and you mentioned
Yes,
it was an intensive program. So people who have not gone through an intensive program, because a lot of times when one says that, that usually means it was like an abbreviated program, like there was a lot.
yes,
So tell us, can you share us a little bit about what that was like? Like, what kinds of
yes. It was
things do you
actually
learn, or did you learn?
yes. It was 2 months. We learned editing. We learned how to Adobe. We use Adobe a lot to do special sound effects to distort our voices. We learned how to copy and edit for television. We also learned the broadcasting side, hosting, actually doing a live report outside of a gas station. It was a really good experience. And it was intensive because it was very short. We had like three
Mhm.
exams within weeks of each other. And it does teach you a whole lot in a short amount of time, but it also gives you the tools that you need. Like I have my demo reel and I have my work, my editing that I've done, and it's giving me an
Mhm.
opportunity to actually have some work to show for myself.
So it's really given you and during those intense months, it really gave you hands-on training and experience
Yes,
in
it
in
really did.
in this. Mhm.
Yes, when I first went to visit the broadcasting school, the first thing he did was bring me in there, turn the radio on, put the mic in my face, and told me to start talking.
Oh wow, that's one of those
Yes,
that's one of those sink or swim moments.
yes. And it was very nerve wracking at first, but I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
Roslayn, you can do this. And I just started talking about myself, why I wanted to move to Atlanta, because at the time I was just visiting, and how I
Mhm.
really wanted to be down here. And not just really for radio, for acting too, because, they call it the Black
Mhm.
Hollywood and Yollywood. And, it's just
Right.
a good opportunity. Like, since I've been here, I've been a background extra in several productions. And at one radio station, I actually covered a red carpet for the Triumph Award. So I've had a lot of experience since I've been in Atlanta. For this will be my 5th year.
Wow. Wow. So what do you feel like coming to Atlanta? What was like one of the first couple of things that you feel that you realized or had to learn, like when you started this journey, like, okay, if I'm going to be successful in radio and television, or if I'm going to be successful as an actress, I'm going to need to. Can you finish
Have
that
tough
sentence? Like
skin.
what?
Yes. Have tough
Amen.
skin. Get used to being told no. I am getting used to that a lot. I'm being told that, but at the same
Mhm.
time, I look. Sometimes rejection is protection,
Mhm.
and some things are just for you, and if it's for you, it's for you, and if it's not, it's not. And being in this industry, you do have to learn how to be a little tough skin. And
Mhm.
being down here, auditioning, being told I need more work, and being told that, well, maybe this won't fit you because your voice is a certain way. Just being told different things like that is just adding fuel to my fire to show that I can do this, and that what I've learned from it is that you have to have tenacity and you have to have determination, and you just have to keep going and going and going, and eventually something will break.
And that's very good advice, because I think a lot of people, they come maybe not only to this town but to Hollywood, and they think, I'm going to get there and within a week or a month
Yeah,
max, I'm going to hit it
exactly.
big, and it no, it doesn't.
You think that you think you're here in this mecca and someone's going to see you and boom, you're a star the next day. That's how I used to think, but I
Mhm.
came down to reality very quickly.
Mm. Wow. Can you share with us maybe one of your to date, because you've been here about 5 years, maybe to date, what has been one of your perhaps memorable experiences, or maybe an experience that you learned a huge lesson from, and it may not have necessarily been something that negative that happened.
Mhm. Oh yeah, I remember being an extra on one of these productions, and it was a big production, and
Mhm.
it was like some of my favorite actors and actresses were in it. And what I did learn was patience, and I also
Mhm.
learned to not pay attention to what's going on around you, because there can be a lot of distractions on set. You have your people who just have to be seen, and you have these
Mhm.
people who don't want to do anything, and so you really have to keep yourself focused and the eye on the prize, which is to be seen, to you know
Mhm.
hopefully someone can see you and see that this person has good determination, great tenacity, and then maybe we can move her to a speaking part. And the biggest
Mhm.
lesson I learned from that is just doing what you're told, being obedient to them, and let nature take its course.
Oh, I like that. Let nature take its course. Doing what you're asked to do, being obedient, and letting nature take its course. And that is huge in this industry, because you have to be able to take it, as you've just shared, have to be able to take direction, really at the drop of a dime, because a director could ask you to have one emotion one moment and then have another emotion the next moment, um,
Yes.
you know, or completely, shift gears. If you're just joining us, we are having a conversation this evening with my engineer, Roslayn Cooper. She's on and she's sharing with us what brought her to Atlanta. And she arrived in Atlanta and attended broadcasting school, a very intensive program that she attended. And from that program, she shared with us that she is what she has learned, some of the things that she learned, some of the tools that she has acquired, and the skills that she has acquired that have helped her thus far on the journey, and also aspiring to be an actress and being on set, and some of the lessons that she's learned on set about being focused, being able to take direction, patience. And I love what you said earlier, Rosalind, about rejection sometimes is your protection.
Mhm.
Have you had it? Can you share an experience where it was like, oh man, I didn't get that part, and you felt bad, but then you kind of look back, something happened, you look back and you're like, ooh, I'm so glad I didn't get it. Have you had one of those yet?
Yes. Yes, I have.
Really?
I attended an acting competition called IMTA, which
Mhm.
is the International Model and Talent Association. It was in California in 2009, and
Mhm.
I did pretty well. In my age group, I won Actress of the Year, but I
Yay.
met with eight agents that were. Thank you. I met with eight agents that were interested.
Uh-huh.
But out of
Mhm.
that, when I came home, when I initially came home and came down from the high of being up there around all the agents, nothing really came from it. They wanted me to send in a tape.
Mhm.
I sent in the tape. I heard
Mhm.
nothing else from it. Nothing really came from it. However, I enjoyed the experience. I enjoyed the
Yes.
experience, and it was a good learning lesson, but it was a saving grace because I went through a feeder agency, and when you go through
Yes.
those agencies, even if I was to sign with a major agency, everything I made I had to give 20% to that agent and 20% to the
Oh
feeder
my
agent.
gosh.
So I feel like,
Wow.
yes, I feel like I dodged a bullet.